I heard him say in one interview, if Man United sack me, don't worry about it. I'll go somewhere else and win trophies.
I love that. I do like that. You've got to respect that. There are plenty of managers who are good managers who have won nothing in their careers. No offense to Thomas Frank or De Zerbi or whatever, but they're linked with the United job after this. They're linked with the Chelsea job. Poch is another one.
I know he's won the league.
But Ten Hag's won way more than Poch has won. Hello and welcome to Uncensored. That is Adam McKola. I am Joe Smith. What a week. I'm still basking in it. Are you still in it? Are you still loving
Carol
it?
basking in it.
I'm absolutely Carol basking in it.
Yeah, I'm basking in it. It's nice to be happy, isn't it?
It's great. And you've got to take these moments. There's been so few of them this season. We have to love this.
It's really nice to be happy for once. It's nice to be celebrating something.
Yeah.
Of course, it doesn't paper over everything, but it is nice to be nice.
It is nice to be nice. We've got quite a few bits to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit more about the cup final, obviously, because why not? We're going to be talking about maybe Ten Hag is just approaching the reputation of some other managers who get a lot of credit in this Premier League. And also a little look ahead at transfers potentially as well. We saw what United can do with a pretty much full strength 11. What can we do if we even improve on that? What position should we be looking at? We'll get to all of that as well. But just to start with, we've not really spoken much post-match. How are you feeling? How was that?
I'm buzzing, man. I told everyone we were going to win. Anyone that would listen, I said we were going to win. I just had a feeling Manchester United were going to beat City at Wembley. It just felt so obvious. And then as the game unfurled, it was easier than I expected. It was a lot easier than I expected. I think the goals Man United scored, I think there was a little bit of luck in Garnacho's goal, but you look at the goal that we had disallowed for offside, we were playing that style. It was something that we were trying to do. So whilst there was a little bit of luck, it was also manufactured by us. And then you see the goal for Mainoo. I think it's one of the best goals Man United have scored in a long, long time. And you look at the pass from Rashford, Garnacho bringing it, and Bruno's whole... That also felt like we worked on it.
Yeah. Because
if you see Bruno running from just inside the half, he's constantly looking at Cobby, like, is Cobby in the position I want him to be in? He's constantly looking there. So when it comes to him, he can play that no-look pass because he already knows he's there. Now, we know the best footballers scan games constantly and all those kind of things, but it did feel like that was something we had tried to do. Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes running late, and Garnacho and Rashford kind of setting us off on the run. So tactically, I thought we got it spot on. Obviously, it was a little bit of luck in it as well. Haaland smashes the bar. Was it Alvarez who should have scored?
He couldn't get it out from under his feet.
He hit it with the wrong part of his foot, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then obviously they had the goal, which shouldn't have been a goal, but I just felt like Onana weren't. Look, he should be expecting the shot. I felt like he didn't expect the shot.
No.
Think he cut in far too easy. Doku.
Yeah.
And then he gets a shot in, and it's got to be saved. But we held on. It was fine. I enjoyed it. And seeing Pep seemed really stressed. Didn't he
was having a meltdown about 15 minutes from the end. He went
even
in
during the game.
He
was just going mad.
Odd parents mode, didn't he? You know, the teacher who thinks he's seen him all the time, and his chin's on the floor, and his feet are in the air, like just changing complete body shape every 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was.
Pep had lost it.
It was nuts. Which, I was just happy as well. I was happy to see. That embrace with Martinez and Ten Hag.
Yeah.
I love that.
What, the non-consensual one? Or
he just picks him up from behind him.
Yeah.
I love that. And then the Mainoo and Garnacho bit with Ten Hag.
Yeah.
I like that as well.
Yeah, we was chatting to him both.
Because whilst it's been a dreadful season, we've won the FA Cup. A lot of football fans have never got to see their team win an FA Cup. Mm-hmm. Like, really and truly. Look at Ethan over there, the poor fuck.
Bless him.
You know what I mean?
He's crying little FA Cup shit.
He's crying all his way out of Europe as well. What was it? Europe again? Ole, ole.
Have we knocked him out of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
We knocked Chelsea into the Conference League.
And you just got absolutely...
I've never wanted to be in the Europa League, but when I realised that happened, and it knocked them out of Europe and thingy into the Conference League, I thought it was quite funny.
I knew Chelsea had been Conference League. I didn't know they'd been completely evicted.
Yeah, they got evicted out of Europe.
Oh, that's shit.
Which was quite good. What was I saying before that? I don't know. But yeah, buzzing, man. Buzzing. Yeah. And just see like those little touches. It's been a real shit season. We finished 8th, worst. Weirdly, in 1989-90, when we had our last bad finish, we also won the FA Cup. Isn't that weird? How those kind of things happen.
Those things
and then we have the worst season since 89-90 and we win the FA Cup again.
Do you think it'll be enough for Ten Hag to keep his job?
I don't think they should make a decision based off that one game. So if they were going to sack him before, they should still sack him. If they feel like he's not their guy, they should still sack him. But I never thought he should have got sacked before the cup final. So even if we lost the cup final, it wouldn't have changed my opinion.
This should make a difference, though, shouldn't it? Not the whole difference,
No.
but if they were, would you not
Because
factor
you
this
can
in
win
at
a
all?
game,
Surely, you should
right.
a little bit.
You could, look, kind of.
Yeah.
But also, if your opinion was he should be sacked because X, Y, and Z, then one game shouldn't change that, right?
No, that's true.
One game shouldn't change that. So I feel like if the decision was made before, then they should stick to that decision. But I don't think they should sack the manager. Yeah. I would stick by Erik ten Hag.
If they were on
I
the
think
fence,
the context of the season, if they were on the fence, it can help massively.
Yeah.
I think the context of the season, with all the injuries and stuff, and yes, you can, look, we shouldn't have gone out of Europe like we did. You know, we shouldn't have maybe finished 8th.
Yeah.
Could have been a little bit better.
Should have been.
Times where tactically he readjusted things and it was wild what we were doing. We're far too open, conceding 20 shots a game. But all those things into consideration, I know for a fact with a better team, better players, we don't perform that way with Erik ten Hag as manager.
And another thing in his defence is, I know for a fact that there's a lot of other managers who would have finished maybe 5th or 6th or whatever and wouldn't have got near the FA Cup. Having managers who are good in competitions, cup competitions, is like its own little skill. Like there's some like Conte, notoriously brilliant in the league, shocking in cups. Like there are certain managers where Ten Hag gets his teams to finals all the time, and obviously once you get there, there's a bit of luck.
I loved him as
but
well
that's
coming
a big
out
thing,
because someone asked him. First of all, you know what I find mad? Yeah, well, I don't find it mad. I expect it, but you know how we get treated as a fan channel. Like sometimes we can't speak to certain people, or they don't allow us in certain places because we've got this perception that we're just idiots and we're going to be looking for clickbait questions and all those. Bro, some of these journalists that they allow into the room every single week are utter wankers, bro. Utter wankers.
Saying stuff way more inflammatory than we would say.
If we acted like them just once, we'd never be allowed back in.
No.
Like, we'd never be allowed back in. And I find that bizarre. And then you look at Gary Lineker, who I don't really have an issue with Gary Lineker. I dislike Alan Shearer for obvious reasons. But you look at their interview of the manager after. I found that so... hold on a minute. You see when Pep Guardiola won the treble and he won the FA Cup, did they stand there and go, yeah, you've won the FA Cup, but actually, what about these 115 charges?
Yeah.
I didn't see them doing that. But when it's Erik ten Hag, you've got fucking Alan Shearer, the prick. By the way, Erik ten Hag's already won more trophies than you in England. He's been here 2 years. Alan Shearer, the prick, going, but 8th isn't good. Like, pulling every bit of context out of the way. If it was Newcastle, he'd be talking about all their injuries and shit. Like the fact that they just did that. And that's why I heard him say in one interview, if Man United sack me, don't worry about it. I'll go somewhere else and win trophies.
I love that. I do like that. You've got to respect that. Because it just reminds people, like I was saying, like, there are plenty of managers who are good managers who have won nothing in their careers. Like, no offense to Thomas Frank or De Zerbi or whatever, but they're linked with the United job after this.
Poch.
They're linked with the Chelsea job. Poch is another one.
I know he's won the league.
But Ten Hag's won way more than Poch has won. He's won, what, 3
Well,
cups in 3
Ten Hag's had
Eredivisie,
2 seasons.
Cups there, trophies here. Like
with a team that, like, the team Poch built at Spurs, give him credit for doing what he did. But that team was better than any team Man United have had in the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He won nothing with that.
No.
This guy's managed to get 8th place Man United and win a trophy. And you have to put 8th place into context. You have to bring that into it because that's not good. But I do think there's a lot of mitigating factors there, and I'd give him some time. I like Erik ten Hag.
And I think we saw from the game that he's obviously tactically aware, isn't he? People got to the point with him where not just are they saying, I think he's got his tactics wrong or these could work, but not with these players or what. People are going as far as to say he doesn't know anything about tactics. Yeah. He doesn't understand
Sometimes you can get a tactic wrong.
Yeah. And I think that's happened.
But still be a good tactician.
Yeah, but we saw in that game, the first half is what won United that game. And in that first half, we completely outclassed City. If you take possession out of it, because possession is useless without turning it into chances and take the possession out. United were clearly by far the better team. City had 1 shot in the first half. Yeah, they had 75% possession, but if you don't do anything with it, that isn't
Where was
even
Alfie
a benefit.
Ingy's son? Did he play?
I don't think he played. No, I think Haaland was injured. I don't know what happened to him. But it's mad that he's clearly someone who understands what to do in certain situations.
And what was that? Varane Martinez for 60 minutes. Varane Martinez for 60 minutes.
Such a difference.
Because Johnny Evans came on around 65, right?
Yeah. And Dalot I thought was excellent as well. Amrabat was sensational. Absolutely covered every blade of grass.
He's had a few decent games for United, but he's also had some shockers.
Amrabat?
Yeah, there was a game where he just kept giving the ball away. And that does lead you to think, I'm not sure whether I'd sign him.
No.
But he was very good.
And I think if I'm looking to defend him, what I would say is when he first came in, up until sort of Christmas or whatever, he didn't look fit enough for the Premier League to me. He looked like he had like Serie A fitness, but not, because you know when players are missing 5-10 yard passes, or they're like every second touch is a tackle, it's because they're not ready for people from all angles. But against City, he was just getting the ball and quickly they give it back to Onana or pass it to Mainoo or whatever. He looks like he's up to speed with it, but he played loads of games between Christmas and the start of the season and Christmas and looked poor, then barely played for 3 months, did he? So I don't know. The only reason I'd keep him is because you're probably getting for 20 million euros, which is minimum half.
Yeah, and maybe like if you're gonna get rid of, like Eriksen's gonna leave.
Yeah,
McTominay you could raise some money on. Like there's a few players that could see their way out. So then if you go look, here's a cheap signing to kind of bulk our squad. Yeah, you could do that, but
it's the last
midfield is probably 20-25 million. There's probably a young player somewhere you could get.
Perhaps,
that could do the job and improve and grow into the team.
Yeah.
But that's not to say I'll be totally against it. I'm just not sold. Like, I'm not like, if he leaves, I wouldn't be devastated.
No, I agree. I think.
But it was nice to see him have that.
Until the Brighton, Newcastle, and City games at the end of the season, I think everyone would have said that. Like, no one was asking for him to stay with it. And then he puts in some big performances, and then that changes things. Uncensored is brought to you by Manscaped, and Manscaped have been in the workshop creating the ultimate package.
You've been in your workshop.
I've been in my workshop, and we'll talk all about that. But with the code Paddock20, you can get 20% off and free shipping on the brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Adam, we'll get into the bits and bobs, but just in terms of grooming, how has Manscaped changed the game for you?
You got to keep your Manscaped, you know what I mean? Yeah. You got to keep that boy downstairs scaped. And with Manscaped, you can do that. Yeah. It's an amazing device. Incredible. It comes with loads of goodies as well, which I like. Yeah. I genuinely use it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Of course.
Don't have to put a torch on my head anymore because you got the little light on your Manscaped.
The other thing that they don't ever announce on here, by the way, the battery lasts for ages. I lose my charger between charges and have to find it months later because it lasts so long. Genuinely brilliant. There's obviously the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the brand new trimmer, which has got the traditional trimming blade and the extra close foil blade. So you're not using your shed travel bag to good use, are you? Because I've got a shed travel bag and I put my charger in there. Okay, well that's the thing. So the shed travel bag is an absolute free bonus extra with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. You're thinking, what else is in that? You get the Weed Whacker, the ear and nose hair trimmer. Like I said before, you get the Lawnmower 5.0. You also get the Crop Soother toner. You also get the Crop Preserver anti-chafe ball deodorant, and you get free
How is your anti-chafe? Is she all right?
She's okay, actually. She had to have a lie down recently, but we think she's feeling a lot better now.
She got over it.
She did get over it. Like you said, you get the free travel bag as well, and you get the free Boxers 2.0 to wear. Good boxers to wear to the gym. Perfect for the gym. Perfect for this sunny weather coming. I just wear the Manscaped boxers. I don't even wear shorts anymore. Well, you wear them over the top like Superman. Yeah. Don't you? No, I just wear them. Oh, wow. It's really good. Incredible. Just them on. That's it. Goggles. And this time of year as well. On the treadmill. This time of year, when things are getting a bit sweaty, the temperatures are rising, the last thing you want is an absolute bush. What if you're keeping your boys scaped? You shouldn't be getting sweaty and all that down there. That's what I'm saying. That's where Manscaped come in. And with our code Paddock20, you get 20% off whatever stuff you buy and free shipping as well. So go and check them out. The link is in the description. There's a reason we talk about them. There's a reason we all use them. Genuinely, I wouldn't trust anyone else with my chaps. Back to the show. Great to see Varane go out with a trophy. Yeah, I love that. He was loving it as well. Because he loves Man United. Yeah, he does. He loves. Like, we can talk about a lot of different things, and but he loves Manchester United. Yeah. You could tell he was a fan. Obviously, he went signs for Zidane and Real Madrid. You can't blame someone for that. But he's kind of like how Bastian Schweinsteiger was like, my bucket list. I need to play for Man United one day. I think that's what Varane had. Yeah. And so to see it kind of turn into like this disaster was sad to see. The thing with Varane is, whenever he's played for us, he's been very good.
Is that like one or two bad games?
Yeah,
Like,
the issue with him is he misses a third of every single season, and you can't
and
have
then
your
there's part
first
of it
choice
as
player
well
doing
where
that.
he is. Look, I understand players coming out saying there's too many games in that,
Yeah,
but you don't want one of your main guys coming out and saying that every week.
no.
You know,
He's literally like, I can't. Listen, I'm knackered.
He's telling you
lads,
something.
I'm knackered.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've had head injuries for the last 10
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
My feet are falling off. There's too many.
Yeah.
You don't want him looking like he can't be asked to play. Not that he ever
How
did
much
that
of a
on the
difference
pitch.
Lissandro Martinez makes?
I mean, Pep did his classic, like, then when he'll move to a new club and then he'll say that Philip Lahm's the best player he's ever used or whatever. Like, he did the same with loads of people.
Did he really say top five?
He said top five centre back in the world, which...
Because I've not actually seen a clip of that.
No, I haven't. I've just seen it written down. But part of it is Pep always does that, and he goes a little bit...
Did you do it with like Nathan Redmond at one
Yeah,
point?
exactly. Yeah, it's like this Nathan Redmond is top 3 strikers in the world.
Yeah.
And what is it? It was... I think it was
fullbacks, Redmond.
Oh, yeah, that was it. It was Foden. Wasn't it? This was like 5 years ago. It's like he's the best player I've ever worked with.
Yeah,
You're like,
I was on the bench.
Lionel Messi, you worked with him for like 6 years at Barca or whatever.
But interestingly,
but Martinez is
not comparing
huge.
Messi, but we asked Sergio Aguero about Foden, David Silva, and Foden, David Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne, and he put Foden at the top of all those players.
I could see
I
that
also
with
had
them.
this debate on the club. I said Foden's more generational than Kevin De Bruyne, and people went mad, but I think that's true. I think at the end of their careers, you look at Phil Foden as a better player than Kevin De Bruyne.
And also,
But I don't know why we're getting into this now.
the different players, obviously, depending on what you like. But I do think that people don't want you to ever take a risk on any opinion, do they? Like, you've taken a bit of a risk there, because obviously he hasn't achieved that yet.
And obviously you've got Kevin De Bruyne's catalogue of work.
Yeah, you're basing that on the fact that you think this, but it hasn't happened
I
yet.
just think
You're
Foden's
not
a better
wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like comparing Kobe Mainoo to Maitland-Niles or something. Like, you're not just factually
Maitland
wrong.
Miles.
That was so good, by the way, because when Miles, I've only ever met him once, and as soon as I did, he came up to me and had a go at me for putting Arsenal 8th in my pre-season prediction. And then what? A week later, he's comparing Kobe Mainoo to Maitland-Niles. And I know what he said, like he prefaced it with just in terms of this one aspect of his game. But when he said it, because he built up to it for ages, it was like, you could have a go at me, but just... And then he said...
I thought he was going to go Messi or somewhere. I thought he was going to go Iniesta, Xavi, something mad.
Or even like a rival player,
Yeah.
someone that we don't want to compare him to, like a De Bruyne or something, but we'll have to. And when he said, I just got... And also... How does he think that people know what Maitland-Niles is like? Like we're going, oh shit, yeah, it does. Like no one has an idea of who Maitland-Niles even is.
I've seen a few people say because that went a little bit viral. I've seen a few people say I understand where he's coming from.
It more is just like us going, oh yeah, do you know our own perception of Maitland-Niles? Let's put Mainoo in that film. I've got no idea of what kind of player Maitland-Niles even is.
Right now, I can't even see Maitland-Niles' face in my
No,
head.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not a reference point to anything. You can't just be like, oh yeah,
Maitland-Niles could be sat over there and I wouldn't know.
I'd be like, Ethan, put the next slider. Like, I wouldn't know. Yeah, unbelievable. Speaking of Arsenal,
also, man's called Ainsley, bro.
It's an interesting name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I only can
Only
name
one man's
other.
ever pulled that off.
It's the Harriet.
It's the Harriet.
It is the Harriet. Have you seen him recently, by the way?
I've seen memes of him, but I don't know if they're recent.
The man hasn't aged in 35 years.
Oh, yeah, of course he has.
Do you know when you go bald young as well? You sort of look 40 as soon as you go bald, even if you go bald at 22.
Yeah, like Ashley Young.
Yeah, and then by the time you're 50, you still sort of look 40. Like, he must be 60
Shall
now.
we go bald?
We've waited too long. Because people have seen us as an
I
adult
already know
with
we're
hair.
old.
Yeah, you need to be like Jay.
He's doing that because of the greys.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine Jay just rocked up with like a nice fade and that.
He's 67! Ainsley Harriet is 67. Look how good he looks.
So when we were, because he was knocking about when we were kids, he would have been in his 30s, 40s then.
I guess so, but yeah. Unbelievable. 67 years old.
He's a bad man.
And also, he's quite like...
Green and red peppers in it was him.
Red tomato, green pepper.
Yeah, but that...
Yeah,
what was that again?
Ready, Steady, Cook. What do you mean,
Steady,
what was
Cook.
that? That was
I
Ready,
was trying to think of the name.
Yeah, Ready, Steady, Cook.
That was a great show.
It was one of the great shows. For anyone who didn't see it, each chef and celebrity companion gets a carrier bag, or not celebrity companion.
They can bring it. Did they bring a carrier bag, or they get the same carrier bag?
They get the carrier bag with like 5
chicken
ingredients
breast
in it.
in there.
It'll be a chicken breast. It'll be a jar of mango chutney. It'll be some double cream. and it'll be like vanilla pods. And you're like, you have to make a 3-course
But then
meal out of
somehow
this.
they find other things.
Yeah, well, they've got the pantry to the line, so they've got like your rice, pasta, all
Everything's
that stuff
in the
there.
pantry.
Yeah, they've got a chicken Kiev in the pantry, just making stuff up. But it was so
I had a
good.
great chicken
And
Kiev
then the
the other day,
audience would hold up a red pepper, a red tomato. What?
I had a great chicken Kiev the other day. Even had like the chicken bone in it, so it was like a proper piece of chicken.
I've never seen the bone in
It was
Kiev.
it was a really, really good piece.
Was it bready?
Bready.
No, breasty.
Oh, breasty. Yeah. I thought you meant breaded. Like, of course.
Yeah, of course it's bready. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's not a Kiev, is it?
Yeah.
But it was the breast meat with a bone in it.
No, I think it was like maybe like breast and wing, maybe.
To see the
Bit,
king.
like, bit pissed.
Speaking of that,
Good shit though.
I roasted my own bird yesterday. For the first time ever. I've never roasted in my own.
She got
oven.
it. You've been talking about wanting to do that for a while, haven't you? You're just looking for a third man to come in. Sorry.
There was no spit.
I'm sorry.
involved.
Do people know her name? Can I say
Yeah,
sorry?
it's alright. It's fine.
Sorry, Busy.
So I roasted my own bird, right? and,
Still doesn't
and
sound
I got it out of the oven at like 4 p.m. and I thought, oh, let me shave a little bit of the skin or whatever. And I was like, oh, that was just like
the skin's elite.
let me shave a little bit of leg. I stood over the oven and ate the whole chicken. It did. I was like, fuck it. It's like going down so easily.
Yeah,
it was
it's
so
alright.
juicy and fatty
You know when I've
and
done-
crispy.
I
I
used-
ate a full chicken
I
over
used
the
to
oven
be
at
a bit
4 p.m.
feral.
That's not even a meal time.
I've done that with like, Asda chicken.
Yeah, that's it.
You just see
It's
a whole
gone.
garlic chicken and you're like, it's cooked and you're like, fucking hell, this is good.
They're unbelievable.
I did one of them for lunch once.
Yeah.
That's like when it's bad, isn't it? You know, that's when you're like, you're a student, you're down to your last. It's about 2 weeks from payday.
And somehow, for a full chicken to be born from an egg, incubated, birthed, raised, fed, antibiotics, housed, in everything,
Housed.
killed, transported, plucked, cooked, put out, £2.48. How on fucking earth can a life be worth so little? It is horrifying, really,
That is,
isn't
yeah,
it?
that is because they're doing like millions at a time, innit?
But even then,
Quite depressing.
It's very
I can see
depressing.
why people become vegan.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm not ready for that, but I can see why people
Have you seen it
become
where
vegan.
they have the chicks on like a conveyor belt? This is really bad. Live, and they're coming down on a conveyor belt, and they're basically going through, and anyone that's a boy, chucking in a blender, grating it, just.
So that goes into chicken
just,
nuggets
just
and that?
pellet it. No, not even that. It goes into like cattle feed and like.
Just let them. Why can't
Because
you
they
just
don't
have
need
like
male chickens. They need like one
Yeah,
for
but
every
just let them go
10,000.
chill somewhere then.
But then someone who's paying for the land and the food.
Like, at least just give them all the money you're making off these chickens. At least just make them a little like reservation where they can chill and that.
That's what I'm saying. So it is
Right.
horrible. It is absolutely horrifying. Speaking of horrifying, I've got a statement for you, and I want you to hear your response to it. Despite everything we've seen this season, league points, goal difference, in terms of CV in the Premier League, trophies won, it is a fact that Ten Hag is better than Arteta. What do you make of that? He is. What's Arteta won? One FA Cup. Yeah, we've got that. And a Carabao as well, just to knock it up a notch. We've had our worst season ever, and he's cemented himself as better than Arteta. Fact.
He's had 2 seasons in the Prem. Based on Arteta's first 2 seasons in the Prem, he's better.
Yep.
We can't judge fully yet, though.
Trophy
Come
cabinet.
What was it Ali said about trophies? Which kind of rings true. But I do think, like, when the options are Poch and that, who's not really on a trophy,
Yeah.
just got sacked from Chelsea, like, you decided to go with Ten Hag over him
Yeah.
already.
2 years ago.
Like, Thomas Frank, Gareth Southgate. Like, that's when trophies start to meet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you're getting a different... like, if you were to go, Kieran McKenna's not on a trophy, he could be better than Ten Hag. We just don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Yeah. Ollie said trophies are an ego thing.
Yeah. But then,
It's good to have a big ego, isn't it?
It's exactly. And also, it's a weird line, in it? Because on one hand, I get that if, like us winning the FA Cup this season, we still have
Would
a
I rather
terrible
have our
league
season? Yes. Would I rather see us win something? Yes.
Yeah.
But their team is better than our team.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And they over the last 2 seasons got like 40 points more than us in the league or whatever.
Mm.
But I do think and managers that win trophies, it's another skill. Like getting loads of league points is great, and obviously if it wins you a league, then there's your trophy. Don't worry about it. But there is a skill in like, despite all of this, Jose has it perfectly. Despite all of this, despite what's going on at Roma, I will win you this trophy. I will win you a Europa League. I will win you a Carabao. Like that is its own skill, and the fact that Ten Hag's got that, Poch obviously hasn't got it. He's the opposite. I'll improve you, but we won't win anything. Tuchel's got it. We don't know if McKenna's got it. Southgate hasn't got it.
I do think Poch can be a winning manager, though. I do think that.
What, like, as in win you a Premier League?
Yeah.
Why have we
Also,
not
you got to
seen
look
it?
at the fact Pep's leaving soon.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
interesting now? 115 charges might be kicking in soon, and you're off.
Happening? It is interesting.
Everyone's
Also,
like, what was it? What's that saying? The
Go
rats on the Titanic.
I think you got 3 or 4 different phrases mixed into one.
Is it the Titanic?
So there's the Titanic, rats on a sinking ship. Is
That's
one.
it.
And the Titanic was a sinking ship, and there's a lot of phrases about that, like playing as the Titanic sinks and all that.
Yeah.
But they're 2 different.
But the rats on the these lot are rats on the Titanic.
Actually, that's really good because
You
the
know what I
Titanic,
mean?
the biggest ship ever built,
Yeah.
loads of money,
Yeah.
absolute fraud.
And you can get off, but you're still dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So we still know.
So that iceberg is there, innit?
Yeah.
That Premier League charge iceberg.
I watched something about the Titanic, like, because I've never seen the film Titanic.
What?
It's not for me.
What do you mean? How do you know? You haven't seen it?
But I watch documentaries on Titanic, which I love.
Wait, how have you not? How, even if it's not for you, you were like 7 when it came out. How did you not?
I've never. Why would I watch Titanic at 7?
All right then, 12.
Like,
I watched
it's
it
one
when
of
I
those
was like
films you
10.
go back to as an adult, isn't it?
No, I watched it as a kid.
No, man.
Little
I never
smooch
watched it.
scenes and that. You'd like
Smoochy
it.
scenes.
Yeah.
You know, also pisses me off about that. You know that famous thing at the end. You can both fit on that door, bro.
Right, I've got a theory about this.
You fucking selfish sod.
Everyone says this about the space, he wouldn't fit, and then they draw in the map and he would fit on the door, right? I think it's not a space issue. I think it's a buoyancy issue. I think, like, if you've got a little float, like a kid's float in the pool, if I hold on to it, it'll keep me up. If there's 4 of us holding on, we'll sink anyway. I think it was a buoyancy issue, not a space issue, that meant he couldn't go on there as well.
He could have held on.
Well, yeah, he could have done that anyway. It's his fault. He was too tired. He was too took it
That's
out.
selfish, isn't it? Also, did he meet her on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping that door, bro. I'm keeping that door, bro.
Some woman you've known for about 8 hours, and all of a sudden you're letting her die for you. Fuck that.
I'll keep that door's mine, bro.
Every time she comes back, you just...
If it was his mom or his wife or something, I understand. You get me daughter or something. You just met her, bro. You're like if your life's not changing.
No.
In fact, your life is changing because now you're dead.
You're just going to pretend you never met her. You never tell your mates. You obviously don't tell her that every time she swam back to the door, you just
As she's
put
holding
the
on, you
sole of your foot in her face to push
pushing
her
her
away.
fingers off the thing.
We both... We both fit. My half. Smacking it down the middle like you're the brother.
Get back. Fuck off.
There's another door over there.
Give her the door with the broken window.
Just see. That's a good point, though. We'd only met her that day.
Met her, bro.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, actually.
You know what I mean?
Embarrassing.
It's wild, man. I know, like, what's that thing called?
Chivalry.
Chivalry.
Yeah.
Come
Chivalry
on,
ain't dead. He's dead.
You died with chivalry,
He
bro.
literally died at the same time. Here's another thing interesting. Do you know the journalist that broke this Pep leaving City story is called Jack Gaughan? Which is a very unique name, isn't it, right? G-A-U-G. That is literally my cousin's name.
Your cousin broke the news.
My cousin broke the news.
So Jack, who is the producer of the club, is a Man City fan.
Pathetic.
Like I said, there's this new. I messaged him and I go like, "There's a story about Pep, but I don't think it's true. Like I don't know who the journalist is." And he went, "It's pretty spot on with City stuff."
Yeah, he's meant to be very good for them.
So then I was like, "Yes,"
because that's when his contract runs out as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so
But there's talk about them offering. Well, if he doesn't sign a new contract in the next 6 months or less, you'd imagine he's gone, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll have those discussions. They probably tried to have those discussions in January.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened. Also, I do think Pep's a little bit like, we do all of this, bruv, and look at the state of this shit, man.
Yeah.
We do all this, and you've got about 20 people welcoming the boss in. Got about 60-odd people at the treble parade or whatever. Like,
and
I also think he hates Erling Haaland.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I think he looks at him as a footballer and just thinks, you're fucking shit.
Yeah. When some
Which
of the
sounds mental to say.
But when you think some of the strikers he's managed, like was he there when David Villa was there? I think he was, wasn't he?
He would have been.
Like even Alexis Sanchez at that period, like how technical he was, obviously
He
Messi.
felt like he was Zlatan. He was twice the player that Haaland is.
Yeah.
Maybe not goal scorer, but twice the player.
Definitely twice the player. Like technique and footballing ability is
Yeah.
no question. He's brought Haaland in as like just a machine to put the ball in.
Did he bring Haaland in?
I think he
it
did.
makes
I
me
think
think,
he
you know, the
wanted
Grealish signing and the Haaland signing.
Yeah.
It felt the Grealish sign, the two fantastic players that everyone wants to sign, obviously, but they did feel like very anti-Pep signings. But they felt like Grealish was this guy that's going to make us likable. He's going to give us really positive PR. Everybody loves Grealish, therefore everybody will love us.
Yeah.
And Haaland felt like, well, his dad played for us,
And we need a
we need some
megastar.
history. We need a story. We need that.
We need a talisman as well because like De Bruyne is amazing, but he's not like first name on the lips of a 6-year-old
De Bruyne
child
got
on the other
hooked,
side
you
of the
know.
world. Haaland is like
De Bruyne got hooked in another
huge.
final.
And I read a Twitter thread about him being one of the biggest bottlers in like big games.
It's funny how they're
He's
all
not
better
great
than
in
Bruno
finals.
till Bruno's on the pitch with them.
I know. He was unbelievable, Bruno.
I love Bruno.
That pass to Mainoo.
I feel so vindicated about my support of Bruno.
I know. But
Like,
you know,
I've never turned on him.
do you know the thing is, and I haven't either.
I'm not saying
No,
that.
I know, but we'll be sat here, and now everyone agrees with us. All the people agree with us, or not us, but everyone agrees that Bruno's fantastic, right? Most chance in the league again. I think it's like 4 years in a row.
And I know
ridiculous.
Pep was saying about him as well.
Yeah, but like in like 6 months' time, if we have another bad start to the season, and we're sixth, there'll be another load of
It'll be
people
his
who
fault.
all of a sudden saying it's his fault. They will do.
He was class, man.
Yeah, he was
I
unbelievable.
love Bruno. He doesn't stop working for the team. You can tell. Did you read his Players Tribune as well? You did. I
He
seen
was
your reaction to it.
incredible.
Was it Jay's video? Jay reacted to it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
Um,
But I read it. Yeah, it's amazing.
I read it before the final and then I read it after the final.
Oh, I've not read it after.
Because you know what? When I was reading it originally, when it dropped, I feared this is going to age badly.
Right.
Not badly in that sense, but we're going to lose the final and no one's going to give a shit.
Yeah.
And then we're reading it after we won the final and he put in that performance. Some of the passes. He kept doing that thing where he just kept chopping them out the way.
Just back onto the outside of his right foot.
See you later, bye.
And they would run back.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did it
yeah.
to everyone.
Rodri, he flicked the ball over Rodri's head and got on the other end of it.
Unbelievable. And every time it goes and then just stops. And
Yeah.
everyone just follows it. Like
The one time he should have done that is when Rashford ran through and he went to play the ball through the
And it
geezer's
hit
legs
the-
and it just hit the defender.
Yeah.
That's the one time I thought, oh, you should have done your chop.
Yeah.
But then maybe Rashford's offside.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, by the time he chops it and plays it,
Yeah.
Rashford's offside.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an unbelievable
And that
player.
article that he wrote as well, obviously, I guess he had help writing it. 'Cause it's
I,
so
I think the way it goes
fantastically
is
written.
they speak to someone and someone writes an article based.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
It must be,
Because it
'cause-
sounds that way
And the
when
way
you
it's
read it.
structured is so like brilliantly structured, like the end and all that. Like
I thought he'd left.
it's so good. Yeah, when he said, what was it?
Tomorrow's my last game, Dear United.
Dear
That's
United,
all
that
I
was
saw.
it.
Dear, I thought, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm done.
And there would have been people celebrating him leaving, you know.
I know.
It's sick. Like, some people want Marcus Rashford to leave.
I know. I feel like we
Meanwhile,
saw.
Arsenal fans are twerking for him all over the place. Arsenal fans think they're getting him, you know.
Do you know the truth of the matter
If
is,
they end up with him,
they win the league.
I'm jumping off a bridge.
Genuinely, if Arsenal get Rashford, they win the league because he will make in a functioning team. First of all, he's
He
their
also
top
makes them
scorer
beat
next
City.
season by a mile. But that's what I'm saying. He will beat you. He will beat Man City for you, or he'll score against Man City.
He
for
gives you the
He'll
option
get you a
to
goal
play how
against
we
Bayern
played today.
Munich. He'll let you play on the counter attack. Like he would be their top scorer next season, unquestionably, if he went there. No, like Saka maybe would be close with him, but Rashford, was it like 4 of the last 6 seasons has got 22 goals plus.
30 goals once.
30
20
goals
goals
once.
3 times.
Like this is what I'm saying. Like I know obviously
Even this season,
he's
he had a
really
bad season, but
year.
look at the catalogue of goals.
Yeah, and also I think it's 14 goals and assists, which isn't good.
But for a winger, it's not bad.
That bad. It's better than Grealish. It's better than
You look at some of
I think
Giggs'
Martinelli
seasons, he
would
probably
know
had
it's
about
not better
that.
than You what?
Look
Yeah,
at
Giggs.
some of Giggs' seasons, off
Yeah.
season. He probably had.
And
similar.
Rashford has unquestionably been poor this season. So I'm not like pretending all of a sudden he's had a good season. He hasn't. But like
What did you make of him crying at the whistle?
I was crying, so I think fair enough.
I was very close, but I felt like it was like, you know, when you got all this built up
Yeah.
anger and emotion and just everything in you, and then you just
Yeah. Finally, he's
you have
allowed
some
to
happy.
be happy.
I think that's what it was.
I think it was as well.
Like,
Imagine
he just breathed out.
the shit that he's had this year, rightly or wrongly, whatever you want to say.
No, wrongly.
Well, some
Because
of it is,
most of
course.
it isn't, he's not having a good season.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been on here, us lot, and said, he's not having a good season.
Yeah.
But we've never then started using that to tear down his character, tear him down just as a player, write off his whole career. We've never done any of that. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Like, he's had a shit season, therefore he's shit. He's a horrible,
he's a dickhead.
PR this and like, it's like, the fuck, man.
No. I do, and I think like
I love Marcus. Please don't leave, Marcus. I know you watch this. Don't leave, man.
For the first time all year, he's been allowed to be happy and enjoy himself and smile without getting ridiculed.
And if
all the shit he's had,
idiots.
Yeah. Well, they can't. The good thing is, even if they want to, I don't think they can, because we've got Sancho definitely leaving, or certainly definitely trying to leave. We've got Martial definitely leaving. You've got Mason Greenwood almost certainly leaving. We can't afford to let another of that front line go. We'd literally only have.
We can afford to let Anthony go.
Ahmad and Anthony. Well, he might go. Anthony could go as well.
We can afford that.
Rashford ain't going. I don't.
Ahmad needs to stay.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're making a thing of Ahmad, Højlund, Kobe, Garnacho.
It
feels like that.
Do you think Ahmad's seen an opportunity there to be like, you lot have played like 50 games each this season. I played 12, but I'm going to be part of this.
No, because this FA Cup was very much his.
That's true.
Scoring that goal against Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know.
That's it.
Very, very much means he deserves it.
That's true.
But yeah, also, it's weird. I don't know how to judge Ahmad's season because I felt like he should have played more. But then you look at it sometimes when he started, he didn't impress that much. But then he didn't start enough.
Yeah, and as the
kind
season's
of like
gone
Amrabat,
on,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he should have. You wanted to see more of him.
Yeah.
But I do think he's a very good player. I also think it's like you can. I think the writing's on the wall for him. Yeah, but I also think a little bit of it is the club and/or manager going. We have to try and figure this £80 million signing out.
Anthony.
If we can we make this work?
Yeah.
And then they've seen they can't.
Yeah.
Do you know? I feel like it was a bit of that.
Part of it is like because he costs so much. That's not.
Let's try and make this work.
Yeah, but we have to give it every opportunity to possibly work that we can before we.
Also, we don't see training. We don't see fitness numbers. We don't see all those different
things. That's true.
things.
Yeah. The data and everything behind it all. But Anthony's not started a lot of games this season. I think he's probably started more than he should have. But there's been a lot of games where he hasn't. Ten Hag has been willing to drop him, and for
second
like
half
big
of
chunks of the season, in particular, the second half, he sort of.
Because some of them was enforced, wasn't it? Because of the issues he had.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So then after that,
he felt more comfortable doing it.
Yeah. But yeah.
What about Mainoo? What can you say?
I don't think you could say anything more about Kobe Mainoo. I don't think, especially in like Wayne Rooney's the greatest young player I've ever seen. Right.
Same.
Coming through Manchester United's academy, though, it was Mason Greenwood, yeah. And that's the only person I can compare to Kobe Mainoo in terms of being just like so calm and cool and collected.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for Mainoo is he's not. Look, some people say scoring goals is the most difficult job in the world. All right, cool. But playing in midfield, where wing mirrors have to be on.
Yeah.
Everything's coming from all angles. You know, you're coming up against 2-3 players at a time. We haven't had like Casemiro was supposed to be part of the midfield. He's either been poor or playing in defence. His midfield teammates have been McTominay and Eriksen.
Amrabat a bit.
Amrabat sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want, let's not go into it, but that's not good enough.
No.
And so you look at everything and you just think, the geezer's just unbelievable. Yeah. You look at his goal as well. I know it's a tap-in almost, but
it's not quite though. It's not
Wembley.
It's not
your
a
team
tap-in.
2-0 up in a Manchester derby. You're from Manchester.
Cup final.
Alvarez missed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to have the composure his composure is just unbelievable. I don't know how he's that calm at that age.
I know. And he'll have things as well where there'll be 4 men around him and there won't be a pass on. He's like running off towards the touchline or whatever, and he'll just keep the ball so close to him, little feint here, just enough to bide himself a second, 2 seconds, and then there's a pass on and he can play it. But a young player should be like, you'd expect them to kick it into one of the opposition to try and win a throw-in or try and win a foul. He's always thinking, if I can keep the ball close enough to me, do a little feint here and there, throw him off.
Lose it.
Occasionally it does, but more often than not, it keeps us possession. And it's chest control. And if you look at some of the against City, that's one of, I know obviously De Bruyne had a bad game and stuff, but this is one of the best midfields ever. One of the best midfields in the world. Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Kovacic. Like, these are the people chasing after him, trying to get the ball off him, pressing him. And he looks unbelievable.
He did have a little bit, because I thought McTominay was better in that game in terms of, because one of the things he doesn't do enough for me when he plays in midfield is like closing gaps and getting in people's faces and putting challenges in. He doesn't do that enough for me. And he did that in that game. Like, so it gave Cobby a little bit more freedom to join the attack. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But also, like, the Liverpool game in the FA Cup, I think another one of his best performances. At that point, I would disagree. But people were talking about, like, Szoboszlai, Endo, who else was the other midfielder that they played? McAllister, as, like, one of the best midfields in the league. He was comfortably the best midfielder on the pitch. In the league. I mean, you can even take the goals away.
Wolves.
I mean, what a goal, though.
Like, we all looked at him when he come in and is this guy DM? Is he that? And then you went, oh, he can play that, but he's also at 8.
He's at 8, isn't he?
And then you go, fucking hell, he's got goals in his locker.
Yeah.
Good goals in his locker.
He's a traditional central midfielder. Like, he can do a bit of everything, but give him... We've had so few midfielders. I can't even think of any in my lifetime, really. And this might sound stupid, but Darren Gibson's probably the closest to it, who is actually a very good passer. Like, coming through... Oh, yeah, I suppose he came through the academy technically, didn't he? But, like, he came from Juve and it felt a bit different.
Le Havre.
But, like, coming through...
Yeah, he came to our academy from Le Havre.
Yeah. But, like, coming through the academy and, like, starting as an academy player for Man United, there's no one who is as comfortable on the ball that I've ever seen. Scholes, obviously, but he came through as I was
you're on
too
about
young.
Recent years.
In, like, post-class of
Cleverley.
92. But Tom Cleverley was a decent player for United, but he's not a passer. He's not great on the ball.
That was one of his... I mean, look, Cobby's better.
Yeah.
But that was one of his, like...
Strengths,
yeah.
But I've just... The calmness he has,
Darren Gibson's an interesting one. Some of the pings on
Darren Gibson had a great long ball on him, but he didn't have that, like...
Scored in a Champions League semi-final, people forget.
We get Schalke.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I like Darren Gibson. I thought he was really good. But he just didn't have enough, did he?
Yeah.
But I just think Mainoo is like... I don't know, you don't want to overhype him, but even if he just stayed as good as he was
it won't affect him.
No, I don't think
You know what I mean? It doesn't affect him.
When you see him speak as well, he's... Do you know some players, and this is a bit harsh, I won't name any particular players, but you can tell that they're doing what they're doing entirely on instinct. Like, there's no thought process, there's no... And then sometimes when they're challenged on that, they don't have the intelligence to think another way.
Because they're just naturally that way.
Yeah, but Mainoo's got both. Yeah. Like, he's clearly instinctive, but when he speaks with intelligence, he can form complicated thoughts. I know it sounds obvious and stupid, but some footballers, you watch them in an interview, you go, I don't like what I'm hearing here. He's smart, he can speak, he can answer questions. So when sometimes this natural ability that he's got lets him down, I feel like he'll be able to think his way out of things as well as just instinctively doing things. Like, I'm so impressed by him.
If you fizz a ball at him and it's too heavy, doesn't matter.
No.
I'll have that heavy touch.
Even at hip height,
it's just those little, little readjustments to his foot to just sort the ball out. Mate.
It's crazy, isn't it?
He's so good.
Another person who I want to mention before we talk about potential transfers, he won Player of the Year this season. You've been a fan of him for a while, Diogo Dalot. Yeah. He was exceptional again in the cup final. Just didn't really put a foot wrong at all, did he?
I liked his message that he sent us.
Go on.
After the game.
A little name drop there.
No, it's Diogo's cool with the fans like that.
He is. He's a good lad.
He does reach out to fans a lot.
He loves being a United player as well.
So we obviously, he didn't just message us out of the blue. We messaged him saying, incredible today, Diogo, what a win.
Yeah.
And he said, thank you guys. Enjoy the moment also. We all deserve a bit of joy after this tough season. We got the game. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
But also...
I love that.
He's been fantastic this season. I always get, obviously, by two idiots in Rory and Boovy, but whenever I say Diogo Dalot's been one of the best fullbacks in the league, they look at me like I've just pissed on him.
Yeah.
Like, they just look like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think he tried to tell me Gusto was better than him in that, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, Diogo Dalot starts for most teams in the league.
Definitely. I honestly think he would start at left back for Man City.
Yeah.
I think there's for some reason the way fullbacks are being played at the minute. You look at the top teams, City and Arsenal. They basically just play 4 centre backs.
He always comes central as well, which I like.
Yeah,
he's shown his goal scoring prowess, his assists as well. His defensive ability is improved.
Yeah, Those lapses in concentration that we saw.
Because there was a time in the last 10
gone as
minutes
well.
where Wan-Bissaka, who usually is defensively top-notch,
Yeah.
Doku had him.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, switch Diogo onto him. Just get Diogo onto Doku because he can...
And in the end, they switched him.
Yeah.
You notice Doku went out on the right for a bit and played against Dalot.
Yeah.
Like after the goal. Like,
Because he had
yeah.
Wan-Bissaka up. There was a point in time wherever Doku squared up Wan-Bissaka backed off.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, they're going
It
to
was a
score
good little
again.
battle, that though, wasn't it?
It was, but it did...
Yeah.
It
led
did
to a
scare
goal.
me a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially when he just kept backing up. But yeah, Diogo Dalot, I think he's been player of the season. Whilst I think Bruno Fernandes has been immense and like non-stop working, I also think the start of the season by Bruno Fernandes' standards, he wasn't great.
Yeah.
I think Diogo's been consistently good throughout, and I think
Yeah.
he's our player of the year.
I think it's close. I go with Bruno just because I think the peaks have been slightly brighter. But I do
You
think
look
that
at
Dalot's maybe a bit more
Bruno's
consistent.
goals. The Fulham one, the Burnley one, Galatasaray one.
Yes.
Like,
Also, just in case you didn't know this, in the last 21 games, Bruno Fernandes has got 20 goals and assists for United. So to end this season, it's just been...
it's Bruno. Yeah,
incredible.
Bruno's player of the year. Bruno.
Actually, now I've heard that.
Yeah,
There you go.
that
But
is-
the end of his season has been so good. The start wasn't as good, but that's like almost every game he's getting you a goal or assist.
But he's been doing that since he arrived,
He has,
man.
yeah.
I can't believe people doubt Bruno.
I know. I think people want to look a bit edgy, don't
You know what happens to Bruno? He gets angry.
they? Yeah.
When United are shit, he gets angry. And it affects his game.
Do you think you could relate to that at all
Sometimes, yes.
on the pitch?
Yeah.
Uh,
He gets angry and then he just starts shouting at everyone.
Yeah.
And it's great to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
But also it affects your team.
And also, there's the other...
And from your captain, sometimes you don't.
No, you don't always want
But
it.
Keno used to have that.
But people, this is the thing that people do is, if you lose, let's say, obviously the 7-0 against Liverpool, because
Where
we've
Gary
lost
Neville lied and then has never retracted that lie.
about saying Bruno wanted to come
Yeah,
on.
he's never retracted that.
When you lose a game like that, everything that happens in that game afterwards, no matter what it is painted as Liverpool did it well, United did it shit. So every single thing that happens is put through that filter. Or even if you lose a close game, if you lose 2-1, it's you were shit, they were great. And then because Bruno's obviously such a big part of the team, he's always on the ball, he's always engaged. Like every action he takes has to be criticised because that's what you do after a loss. No matter what, everything was shit. So we've lost loads of games this season, and every single time people have gone, Bruno should have done more, Bruno should have done better. Bruno. But really, it's not his fault by himself that we're losing. Like if we're in a winning team, he's one of the reasons we win. He's the main reason we win.
Also, when everything's going, like, again, that sounds good. When we have a structure to our team and he doesn't have a reason to lose his mind,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just that we give him too many reasons to lose his mind.
Just moving on then.
And it shows
go on.
from the Players Tribune article why he feels that way.
Yeah, he's obsessed.
He's a Man United fan.
He loves it.
I
Look-
never knew that about him. I didn't think he was a Man United fan.
No,
I think because of the early Cristiano Ronaldo stuff, he's become like, he sees United as
pinnacle. Which
maybe
is.
it's Real Madrid if he likes Ronaldo that much. But do you know what I mean? He loves
Yeah.
Man United. You can tell.
Like he could turn Tottenham down, but he couldn't
And
turn
he
United down.
watched us when we were good.
Yeah.
So then he must be here like, it's not supposed to be like this.
What's all this shit?
It's not supposed to be like this.
No, it's not. Looking ahead to transfers then, because we can talk manager stuff at length,
I'm
and
not,
we already
I'm
have.
not doing it.
But looking at transfers, you can almost forget personnel in particular. But in terms of positions, let's say United can make 4 transfers that might, start in 11 players. This
Centre
summer.
back.
Yeah, we need one. Varane's leaving. We just have to replace him, don't we? And it has to be do you think?
There has to be a partner for Martinez.
Yeah, like first choice, maybe big money as well.
Midfield. You need a 6, don't you?
Yeah. What kind of profile? What are you thinking?
Like a footballer one though. One that plays closer to Rodri than Casemiro. Maybe.
Okay.
So we can.
But not someone that's sort of hugely athletic and up and down the pitch all the time.
Doesn't have to be. Just sit there.
Okay.
We need another 8.
Yeah. Although is Mount going to do that job?
Actually, yeah.
If we have
Let's
him?
go.
So that's 2.
Right winger,
Yeah.
left back, centre back, midfielder.
No striker.
We do need a striker as well.
We're only going to have one in
We
the
had
whole
no
club.
left backs this season.
That's true.
Unless Luke Shaw's like, oh, I don't want to rely on Luke Shaw.
Well, Ten Hag said himself that because of that injury he had, he'll never play 60 games a season. Did you see that? So he said Luke Shaw is the best left back in the world. Unfortunately, because of a terrible injury he had near the start of his career, he'll never be able to play 60 games a season. He said that, I think, just before the game, I think. So in his head, we need a backup that's going to be playing.
We need a right winger. We need a striker.
I think striker's more important than
right
winger.
We need 2 midfielders, 8 and a 6.
Yeah.
Maybe need more than that. And we need a left back and a centre back.
And probably a right back if Wan-Bissaka leaves.
Yeah. Is there anyone coming through? It's weird like why we give Alvaro Fernandez away, for so cheap.
Yeah, they're going to activate that buy clause
like
as well.
6 million.
6 million euros, yeah.
6 million.
I know. But obviously Ten Hag's not keen, is he? You saw him in pre-season a little bit. Just don't fancy him, which is a shame.
Maybe.
But
yeah, because if you look at it, you got Onana, Dalot, Martinez. Then you got what's going on there.
Yeah.
If Luke Shaw's fit, all right, Luke Shaw, but you still need someone with him.
Yeah.
Then you got a hole in terms of that Casemiro-shaped hole. Mainoo, Bruno, or Mount. Like you got options there.
Yeah.
Then you got right wing, nothing. Left wing, you got Rashford or Garnacho. Yeah, you can put. Yeah, but ideally you want 2 players in every position, don't you?
Yeah.
Especially
you could say you've got Garnacho and
Europa
Ahmad on
League
that side.
year.
But then they can switch, can't they? Which I think is
you've
helpful.
got Ahmad Diallo as well, but I still think get 2. You need 2 for each. Like if Jadon Sancho and Ahmad, like Jadon Sancho with his head switched on, it's amazing. But
and then
got to get rid of him, regardless of who the manager is.
Number 9 position then, Martial.
Give him a new contract.
Didn't get that sort of farewell moment against City that we sort of hoped for. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, probably couldn't pick him because of fitness and stuff, innit?
No, I just mean on him leaving, just generally his time at United.
I think his
time
at United kind of epitomises the problems Manchester United have had over the last 10 years. Like, phenomenal talent. We've chopped and changed managers that are all really different and nothing's really made sense with them. Look, he's had injuries himself as well.
Yeah.
I think injuries play a huge part in him. But if you look at like the way we've treated a lot of our signings, like we bring and this way you got to hope that Ineos get it right. We bring players in and then we bring managers that don't match those players. Yeah. And it doesn't, nothing makes sense. There's no coordinated thinking. And I think kind of epitomising, because he's a fantastic player, man. Yeah. I think.
What I know
fantastic player.
Just to talk about how much you liked him, imagine he's watching and just him as his talent, what he did at times for United, why you liked him so much.
He's one of my favourite players ever to watch. Ever. Like just pure, the things he could do on a football, the skill, the mannerisms he had. He's one of my favourite players to watch ever.
It was good.
I'd have loved to have seen him under Fergie,
Yeah.
Imagine what it would have been. It would have been so good.
Yeah, it would. Just banging in loads of goals. Like his dribbling.
And you think of every manager we've had. Van Gaal, he was immense for Van Gaal. Mm-hmm. Mourinho, think of Mourinho's best times. Martial was involved in that. Mm-hmm. Whether Mourinho wanted him to be involved in that or not is a different story.
Which he did. He definitely didn't.
But he was a massive part of that.
Yeah.
Who was next? Oli?
Say no more.
Fucking best player for Oli. One of the best players for Oli. Even Ten Hag. Ten Hag's team looked the best when Martial was in it.
Last season.
Like, even like the whole thing coming into this season was like, if Martial, like, it was like we looked good when Martial played.
Sad, innit?
He just made a Weetabix.
I know. It is sad.
It's a shame, man.
But yeah, what a talented player. And also,
I love Tony.
One of the few, I think people forget now, because the last 3 or 4 seasons have been so hit and miss with him. I think those first 2 or 3 when he came to the club, he was the most exciting player at Man United. He was the one where you felt like this guy could go on to be a world-class top player. Like, it didn't work out, and he probably should have maybe left a couple of seasons ago to save a bit of that reputation. But he was so exciting when nothing else was exciting. We were playing shit football, no goals under Van Gaal. Martial was the one that you'd look to do something, go past the man, score a goal. Like, what?
At a big club, AC Milan, somewhere like that,
yeah,
where he can go there and smash it. Yeah. And I think he would kill it in Italy.
Yeah, me too.
With like the change of pace, change of cultures, maybe not playing as many games as, I think he'd be amazing for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame, man.
It
We need
is
to
a
be
shame.
careful we don't do the same with Rashford,
Yeah, we do.
in my opinion.
And before we go then, now the season, we've seen the entirety of the season. We spoke after the league climax, but now we've had the FA Cup climax, and what a climax. How are you rating this season out of 10? In its entirety?
Oh, fuck. It's like before the FA Cup win, you go 4 or something like that, don't you?
Mm.
If that.
Yeah, 2 or 3, I would say.
Like, that kind of bumps it up to like a 6 and a 7.
7.
I love the FA Cup, man.
Yeah.
I love the FA Cup. It's one of my favourite. Like, I love. Like, it just looks so good when you win it, don't it?
It does.
Just holding the FA Cup aloft.
The oldest trophy in football as well. It means something, that, doesn't it?
Mm.
I know the Carabao obviously was great to win it last
Like
season.
Ten Hag said after, like, I've watched the FA Cup all my life.
Everyone has. Everyone who's ever watched football, like, properly, knows the FA Cup, respects the FA Cup. It's not really like anything
I think
else.
Van Gaal said something similar when he won it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
So what are you saying then? 6? 7?
6.5. Then if I'm stuck between,
6.
because I put a lot of weight on the FA Cup,
Yeah.
but it's not been a good season.
No. So
We
maybe
finished 3rd last year.
So maybe 6 then. I'll join you in saying
But I like
6.
the FA Cup.
I think this takes it to being just slightly above average.
There's a fella over there behind that screen that would die for an FA Cup. Do you know that?
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be a 10 out of 10 season if they got relegated and won the FA
But
Cup.
here's the thing. Other than City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and United fans, every football fan would die to win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Like,
Wigan died to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, literally. They literally got relegated for
RIP.
it. Like, I honestly do think we sort of forget how big it is and how massive it is to win that. Like, no one wins. Tottenham don't win it. Newcastle don't win it. Villa don't even
Winning
win it.
anything, even me going like, I fucking don't want to be in Europa League, which I don't. I still believe that. I still feel that way.
Yeah.
Fucking people die, like.
It's
I bet your man over there wishes he's still in the Europa League.
You know what I mean? It's a privilege to win trophies. And it's been a privilege to talk to you, Adam. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us at home. This has been Uncensored. Make sure you check out Manscaped. Like we said before,
Jim Ratcliffe, I know you watch this. If you're going to sack 10, I'm going to slap someone up.
the link to Manscaped is in the description. You heard what Adam said, right? I mean, I think technically that it could be counted as a threat, and if he's a particularly litigious man, you might be wrapped up in red tape before you know what's going on. But thank you for joining us. This has been Uncensored. We'll see you in a bit.